Aidan Hutchinson.
Aidan Hutchinson.
4.5 sacks. I think it was you yesterday. I likened it to like Calvin, like Barry. Like it's the defensive side of those type of performances. It was truly insane.
It was the best individual performance I've
Yes.
seen in the Lions uniform since Calvin Johnson went for 300-plus yards in a game.
I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, dude, it's
What can we expect?
dangerous around here, boys.
It is. Either way, Aidan Hutchinson, Defensive Player of the Year odds, obviously going up. Facing another a backup tackle again this week. Another one.
Another one.
Can he break?
Another one.
This is crazy.
Can he what?
This is gonna sound
Can
crazy.
he what?
Actually, I should ask you this first.
Can he what?
Can he break the sack record?
I don't know. What is it, 23 and a half?
I'm about to look it up
24 and a half, something like that? Michael Strahan still got it?
I think TJ Watt sniped
Can
it.
he? No, TJ Watt didn't. He was really close.
I think it's Strahan.
It's still
It is Strahan.
Yeah.
If not
23 and a half?
Oh, he tied him. 22 and a half.
22 and a half.
Michael Strahan and TJ Watt.
Can Aidan Hutchinson get to 23 sacks in a season? That's a lot. I'm not going to put that pressure on him. I think he gets to 20. I think he can get to 20. Is that crazy? Am I crazy to say that? Yeah, I don't think he's going to get 5 every game, but I think he can get 1 every game.
What if he gets another 4?
And he's already got 4 in 1 game. So that would be quick math. 20.
math.
I'm here for it. I think he can get to 20. He looked insane. He looked so much better. Penei Sewell put it out there. He said, Captain 97 is a different beast. You want to talk about LeBron, Captain America? Aidan Hutchinson's the real Captain America. Look at him flying around out there, making plays, looking just like an absolute specimen. He looked like the best player on the field against the Buccaneers. I expect him to have more performances like that this year, where he looks like the best player on the field in any given game. I think he can get to 20.
He's got the second best odds to win Defensive Player of the Year as we speak right now.
Behind TJ Watt.
Plus 470.
TJ Thought.
He's 5th at the beginning of the season, wasn't he, Nick?
Yeah, I think 5th or 6th. But, fellas, this is just the start with Hutch. This is the first game with his boy DJ Reader.
Yeah.
Opening things up.
Yeah.
You get Levi putting some pressure from the interior
Davenport
now.
wasn't even playing.
Davenport wasn't playing. Like, this defensive line group looks like something that will carry, and it will carry into December, in January, in February for the big enchilada, like we've heard before in all offseason.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what we can hang our hat on right now, looking into the future with a team that's 1-1, moving to Arizona. Now, we've seen it in the past. Aidan Hutchinson has over-pursued on some quarterbacks and gotten burnt because of it. Yeah. I want to see that part of his game really evolve going up against a guy in Kyler Murray. What are your guys' expectations for Hutch in this game against Kyler and a backup tackle?
Listen, I'm expecting him to get after it. I know we had Charles Harris here once upon a time, had 7-sack season, and tricked us into thinking, hey, we got a piece. Hey, we have a defensive coordinator.
Hard pass.
I mean, I don't want to just spec AG in there. But, Charles Harris made you think that maybe you had somebody there. I expect Hutch to at least get 1, at least get a half, or at least cause some pressure. You look back at one of the ones he had, actually the one he forced that fumble on against Baker Mayfield, and it was a Lee McNeil. It was a stunt where he had to jump inside. But had not a Lee McNeil demanded a double team on that same play, Hutch isn't breaking open for that sack alone. So it's definitely going to be a teamwork makes a dream work thing, and I hope that Marcus Davenport's able to come back a little bit sooner than later. But like you said, we still got Levi, you still got DJ Reader. But if you had them all, yes, I think he's getting close. I think he's touching that 17 that you're talking about.
17 and a half.
I'm ready for it, Chris.
Easily.
Yeah. What do you think about last year? Speaking of, Nick brought up history. With Hutchinson, again, it is a new defensive line. So I wonder, are we going to see the same streakiness with Hutch when it comes to sacks? Because we have seen it in these first 2 games. We had the game in his rookie season where it was, I think, the second or third game too, where it was against the Commanders, and he got 3 sacks and a half. So he does have a little bit of streakiness in his history. Now, this is a new defensive line, so I think it will be just overall higher numbers and higher production. But that could be just part of Aidan Hutchinson's DNA when it comes to performances, that there will be some streaks.
I think it's kind of settling down. His career is settling down as, year one, you were right, he was a little streaky. He had a couple sacks here and then missed 3 games without a sack and then a sack or 2. Year 2, we saw him almost getting there. He had, led the league in pressures, had over 100 pressures. He was almost there. He was so close. This year 3, has a new defensive line coach, has some pieces around him that will center him and allow him to get home in those situations, allow him to not be as streaky and be more consistent because pieces around him make his job easier and he can just go out there and be this. And I don't think Lions fans can really grasp it just yet because we haven't had that big sack guy. Super no Diddy.
We got Campbell. He's got a big sack.
Yeah, Campbell's got the biggest sack we've seen so far. But, our defensive stud has always been a defensive back in Darius Slay, a defensive tackle in the Ndamukong Suh. We've never had, since Robert Porcher, that elite sack-getting edge rusher, no Diddy. Aidan Hutchinson is there now, right now. He's a pretty good guy. He is the Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons of this team. We haven't had that in so long. We're trying to push it away, not ready to. No, that's what he is. He is the Defensive Player of the Year candidate for a reason. He is one of the top 4 edge rushers in the NFL this year. He finishes closer to 20 sacks than to 15.
And to that point there, Spenny, in his last 7 games as a Detroit Lion, 13 and a half sacks. You think about last year when he started to really hit his stride at Dallas, 3 sacks. Against Minnesota, 2 sacks. 2 against the Rams in the playoff game. 1 against Tampa. None against San Fran. 1 sack against the Rams. 4.5 to start this year. Easy. If the question is, can he get to the most sacks of all time? He's on the pace.
I know, man.
Is it realistic? No, it's not realistic, and we can't put those expectations on him. But the pace that he's on right now is to hit that number. So can he? Yeah, the answer is yes, he could.
He could.
Am I expecting it? No, I'm not. But I'm right there with Spenny. I'm expecting around 20 sacks.
Sign him up, man.
And this is what I'm saying. Knock him down. Lions fans in the chat, love you guys. 14 Grit says Cliff Averill was pretty good.
He was really
Chris
good.
Pugh says Ziggy was nice, to be honest.
Ziggy was nice, too.
Or to be fair. They were nice. They were good. Aidan Hutchinson is a different echelon of pass rusher
they were never
than Cliff Averill or Ziggy Ansah. He is the best player on the field level of player. He is a defensive player of the year level of player. I loved Cliff Averill. I loved Kyle Vanden Bosch. I loved Ziggy Ansah. Kerry Hyder had showed some damn flashes there for the Lions. This guy, Aidan Hutchinson, is way better than any of them.
Yeah, I think you look at those guys, though, the numbers they put up, they put themselves in top 100s. They perform well here in Detroit Lions jerseys, too.
Yeah, for sure.
But the same thing with them, they had Ndamukong Suh. They had Nick Fairley. Aidan Hutchinson, that's why we're looking at and talking to him of this echelon, is that he now has DJ Reader. Aleem McNeil, I think you rely on a little bit now, too. Even a Marcus Davenport. I don't think there's any excuse for him not to get these numbers. 15 is like the bottom for me.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying Robert Porcher. I mentioned Robert Porcher. I said he was the last one we had.
He didn't. He hates him.
Like that.
Yeah, I see no reason why Hutch can't be a sack-a-game guy. Like, he was the number 2 pick for a reason. He dominated in college. He's been good his whole life, and now he's just starting to get some help on the defensive line and starting to figure out the NFL. I don't get why. I mean, he has 4.5, 5 sacks now. I think he could get to 20. I really do think
see him getting to 20.
It'd be crazy, man.
This week might be a little tough.
That'd be
Cardinals.
fucking nuts.
It'd be
He's
crazy.
going to sack Kyler. He's going to get Kyler down for sure.
Kyler only got sacked once last week. He's good at creating his own pocket, but Hutch is going to get after him. I could see him getting after him twice.
Yeah.
This Sunday.
I mean, Kyler's going to be running around. DJ Reader's going to be pushing that pocket. He's going to try to spin out, do his little toddler run. He's going to get grabbed by a grizzly bear right there in the edge. And dude, I love Aidan Hutchinson. Like I said, I love Tom Brady. He was my favorite player from Michigan, that played at Michigan. I don't have any real emotional connection to Aidan Hutchinson's my favorite Wolverine ever. I hated him in college. I love him now. He's amazing. Luther Ellis is very good too, yes.
That was a good name too. Yeah, 15. Am I being...
You're being a hater.
15 is
No, I'm
low.
saying that's the basement. I was like 15's a base.
I think the basement right now is
20. No,
no.
Let me see what Cliff Averill did. I know Ziggy had like a 14 sack season. I'm curious.
I got 17 as the basement. I don't think there's any way he gets lower than 17. God forbid something happens.
Yeah, true that. And speaking about Kyler, just like getting out of the pocket real quick, we have to be careful
Yeah.
about hitting him late on his crazy little bitch boy slides. You know what? I'm going to say it. Because he gets calls that way. He gets calls late because he slides late and he's expecting it. And you know they love to give quarterbacks the benefit of the doubt on all of that. And I do not want to see Jack Campbell, Aidan Hutchinson, any of those guys get ran up. Derek Barnes specifically. Like, I don't want to see them picking up big first downs because we hit a late sliding Kyler Murray.
Aidan Hutchinson could win Defensive Player of the Year this year. That's a realistic possibility. And I don't think anybody's – like, we see him as the second betting favorite, for Defensive Player of the Year right now. And we're like, oh, that's cool. I don't think we've really understood what that means. Like, that means 18, 19 sacks. That means
the counter argument for that, though, is like he has saw 2 backup tackles in back-to-back games. But
another one this week.
Tackles and another one this week. So he's still going to rack them up regardless. And he still had 11.5 against whoever else last year. He's going to collect them up.
Yeah.
He's going to get them like Infinity Stones.
For sure.
He's holding that Defensive Player of the Year trophy.
And
but,
you're going to have injuries on your offensive line most weeks. Terrell Williams is going to move Aidan Hutchinson around to put him in the best situation to get a sack.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to find that guy. Like, oh, that's my bitch. He's going to find that guy. Like, we heard Herman and Lomas talking about. Like, you see that weak link.
Yeah, how embarrassing that would be,
You smell chum in the water, you're fucking getting after him.
How
Lomas said 2
demoralizing
guys
is
almost
that?
fought on the field to try to
Go against the guard
go
next
against
to
the
him.
guard next to him because he was bad. But
How demoralizing.
we do got to go to break. We're going to
gonna say
continue to
something,
talk about.
Yeah, it's all good. Even after going up against the backup in week 1, though, he was getting the ball out. Matthew Stafford so fast. So for him to still get the sack, I thought was impressive week 1.